One of the most ignored verses in this entire conversation is Romans 11, verse 25. Many people claim God is finished with Israel, that the church replaced them, and that the Jewish people no longer have a future in God's plan. Paul directly addresses that error. For I do not want you to be ignorant of this mystery, brethren, lest you should be wise in your own opinion, that the blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. Paul begins by saying, I do not want you to be ignorant of this mystery. In Scripture, a mystery is not something spooky or unknowable. It is divine truth, once hidden and now revealed by God. Paul is saying believers need to understand what God is doing with Israel and the nation because without the understanding, people become confused and arrogant and divided. When Paul says, lest you should be wise in your own opinion, this is a warning against pride. Many Gentile believers, that's us, who are not Jews, once again, were tempted to think Israel was cast off forever and they had replaced him. Paul says, be careful, do not be arrogant. Do not think you understand God's plan better than God himself. So the same warning applies today. Whenever people mock Israel, deny any future purpose for them, or boast that the church has permanently replaced them, they are stepping into the very pride Paul warned against about. That explains Israel's present condition. Blindness in part has happened to Israel. Notice the wording carefully. He does not say all Israel. He does not say forever. He does not say God rejected him. He says a partial hardening has happened. This means that many in Israel have not recognized Jesus as Messiah, but not all. Paul himself was Jewish. The apostles were Jewish. The early church began with Jewish believers. This has always been a remnant according to grace. Then comes the key word many ignore until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. That word until changes everything. Until means temporary. Until means there's a future turning point. Until means God's work with Israel is not over. Right now, God is gathering people from every tribe, tongue, and nation through the gospel of Jesus Christ. The Gentiles being brought in is not an accident, it's part of God's sovereign plan. When the appointed time is complete, Scripture points to a future awakening for Israel. Paul goes on to say in the next verse, verse 26, and so all Israel will be saved, Romans 11:26, if they don't continue in unbelief. That does not mean every individual of Jew time is automatically saved. It means there is a future nation turn to Christ when God fulfills his promise. This matches what the prophet of the book of Zechariah declared. They will look on me whom they pierced in Zechariah 12:10. Israel's story is not over. Their current blindness is not the final chapter. Let's be clear about salvation. No Jew is saved apart from Christ. No Gentile is saved apart from Christ. No church tradition saves anyone. Only, only Jesus saves. Romans 11 is not about ethnic superiority. It's about God's mercy, God's timing, and God's faithfulness. So let no believer be ignorant of this mystery. God is not done with Israel. The hardening is partial. The season is temporary, and the gospel is for all nations, and Christ will fulfill every promise.